Hello, welcome back to Chuys Educational Corner. This is Richard Marquez. You know, the last episode I had on focus was a real critical one. Due to social media and all the other kinds of things that happen and our need for instant gratification, we all of us have very short attention spans, and we flip from one thing to the other, and it's not good. Distracted driving, being on text, all those kinds of things are symptoms of a population of people who have trouble focusing and maintaining focus. We flip from one thing to the other. You see it in conversations. Uh, You'll be talking to somebody and they just can't help it, and I do it, and I feel bad about it. I'll reach for my phone, look in, then put it down, and then leave it there for a little bit, and then pick it up again. I mean, it's like, wow, this whole thing with wanting not to miss anything, and so we've gotten a little superficial, and that's basically not very good for us. We miss so much. People are on text message. I mean, it's just crazy. And if you look at schools, you also have to look at the fact that children are suffering from that same kind of thing. As it is, kids don't have a long attention span. And as they've been exposed to all this stimulus, kids, they don't focus either. See, when we were younger, we had one toy maybe, and if we didn't have a toy, we'd have to go out and figure out something to play with, and something kept our attention for a long period of time. One toy could keep our attention for a long period of time, and playing outside with certain things kept our attention from one thing or for long periods of time. But today, kids have so many things, so many toys, so many things, so much stimulus, TV, computers, everywhere you go, there's a kid with an iPad in front of them. At the restaurants, in the car, in the grocery basket, the kid's got an iPad, and looking at movies, looking at all that. So, I mean, we're caught up in this whole thing. So, what are the implications for schools? Recently, there was a school district that banned telephones. Now, that's not necessarily a new thing. There are some people who had banned phones from their schools, but an entire district decided that they were going to ban phones during the school day. Wow. Uh, that's a major move, but it's an excellent move. Because remember what I said, you sit around, that phone is there, you're going to pick it up and want to look at it. So all of a sudden you've lost your focus. Teacher's going to have a tough time keeping you focused as it is. And then if your phone is sitting there, okay. The other thing that's interesting is you took away their phones, but they didn't take away those iPads. That's right. See, the phone and the iPad are linked. Kids know how to link them. Kids know what to do with them. You hand them that iPad, you may think they're working on what assignment you gave them, but they opened up two windows. One for when you come around to look at what they're doing, and the other one is when you walk away, they open up the other window to do what they want to do. Kids are smart. So even the iPads have to be monitored, and they can only be given out for a certain period of time for specific reasons. And they have to be given timelines. You can't just hand them an iPad and say, go to work for the rest of the period. It won't work. You have to say, all right, here's your assignment. You can use your iPad, but you only have 15 minutes to complete it. Wow. Talk about need for focus. So, implications for schools. Those are some of them. Here's the other one. Because kids' attention span have gotten shorter, and even the teacher's attention span has gotten shorter, you have to break things down into small chunks. You can't throw this huge amount of information and stuff at them. And somebody figured it out, but the education business hasn't come around to it yet. You know, this whole aspect of the articles that you see today, they're about 2 paragraphs long. Why are they 2 paragraphs long? Because that's all you're going to get out of them. That attention span is so short, all they can do is read 2 paragraphs. So you better feed them everything you can within those 2 paragraphs because they don't have time. I remember a lady who had a huge impact on me, big impact on me. In my career, I wrote a letter one time. She said, write a letter to the principals, tell them we're going to be at their school and we're going to have a workshop and what time, the date, the time, all of it, and this whole thing. So I went and proceeded to write this letter. It was about a page and a half. And so she took it, she laughed, and she said, it's not going to work. Go cut it down. And I said, what? She said, go make it shorter. All right. So I went back, cut it down. Now I had 1 page, handed it to her. She said, it's good, but it's not good. And I said, well, explain to me what it is you want. And that's when she said, all right, let me give it to you. Principals have a very short attention span. They're always multitasking, or they think they're multitasking, but their attention span is extremely short. They'll pick up something. If they can't get everything they need in that first paragraph or in those first few sentences, they're not going to read the rest of it. So the majority of them will be there at the meeting, and others will say they didn't get the memo, they'll say all kinds of things, and in actuality they got it, but they only read the first few sentences and maybe the paragraph, and that's about it. You had details down at the bottom or down in the middle that they never got. So put everything in the first paragraph and then, do whatever you want to with the second one. So I laughed and said, well, okay. So I went back, rewrote it. She looked at it. She said, good. You have all the details in the first paragraph. That's all they're going to read. Wow. I still remember that. She was exactly right. And it helped me because that's all I've ever done. As a matter of fact, when I was in my master's program, I had a very difficult time writing large numbers of pages. Even though the professor would say, I need X number of pages, X number of this, and so and so, but I couldn't do it because I learned to be brief. I learned to basically cut across everything and just tell you what you needed to hear and tell you what you needed to do and not waste your time. So for me, doing that kinds of things was easy, but for most people it's difficult. But it's attention span. Remember, it's all about attention span. So schools are going to struggle with that attention span. Kids are going to struggle with attention span. We've got to do something. And I think we need a class. So let's talk about, in the next episode, let's talk about how we build a class for kids and for adults on nothing but learning to focus. Thank you.